Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. I saw her in person last night. She made me go all the way to downtown LA. Miss Sarah Farasia.
David Yontef, how did we go? I haven't seen you since we went out to Jack's Taylor's. How did we not take a photo together?
I
Darn
thought
it.
I thought about that this morning. I thought about that this morning.
Ah, you guys, all I can say as a teaser is stay tuned because we're going to be teaming up to, if you've ever thought about launching a podcast, if you have an existing podcast, you want to grow it. We had Podcast Movement is in town. And we had some incredible meetings yesterday. And we just had a ball. And we were chit-chatting so much, we forgot to even take a photo. So stay tuned.
I
More to
thought
come.
about that. I was like, oh my God, no photo.
No photo. So
Ah,
I rushed home from that. I was so exhausted. We had boneless chicken wings. They were
that was
lovely,
good.
and nachos. And we devoured our chicken nachos and our French fries. We stuffed our faces and we were meeting after chat.
For
And then,
everyone that thinks I don't eat, you saw it firsthand, girl.
yeah, but you still look good. You
Ah.
The Ozempic still looks like it is kind of working for you because you
It's
look
working
great.
again. It's working again. We had a little resurgence on the
But
Ozempic.
I don't think you should get any skinnier. The way you looked last night, you look healthy. You looked normal, like you ate normal, you look great. I mean, you didn't look, I don't know, skeleton like no, because you there were times where you were like, oh, your face was like sunken in. No, you
Fine. I'll
look
keep
great.
living my life. But I did see you in person. Then I got a haircut. My haircutter cuts both Gage and Jeff Lewis's hair. I go to Gino, who's like the number one under Chaz Dean, but he doesn't cut their hair at the same time. And he was heading out from this. He's like, you're my last customer today in studio. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to cut your friend Jeff Lewis's hair. So Jeff is
Go
such a
into that.
diva. He can't even go in. He has the hair cutter come to him. And by the way, Gino
Good for you.
spills no secret. So before Jeff, now this gets out, and then Jeff calls Gino and is like, why are you fucking talking to this kid about me? Gino spills no secrets. He just knows what I do for a living. And he's like, I'm going to see Jeff. I'm like, oh, I'm sure I'm his favorite person these days.
Um,
Ah,
well,
good.
you should send your regards to Jeff, and you need to be
Always.
the Jeff Lewis Radio, Sirius XM channel.
I'm available. You know
When
who
is
also needs
when
to
is
be on
Miss
Jeff
Yonta?
Lewis?
Yeah, when? Who?
James, because he is picking out Allie's clothes at the beginning of this episode of Vanderpump Rules. Is
Vanderpump
that
Rules,
cute or creepy?
season 11, episode 9. Here's our full review. I loved it. I have never liked, okay, Brock and Alley Cat are my two favorites, hands down. Last night's episode, I was back on board. So juicy.
What a good
This
episode.
This week, I say
Ah,
this franchise survives. And in fact, my husband and I are so addicted to watching this show, we rewind so we can get every tidbit of detail. It was so good. Alley Cat is my favorite. I don't like to shop either.
I like
And
her.
this sounds very Jeff Lewis, but I actually hire a personal shopper because I do not want to shop. And
Excuse me, Diva.
I
Diva
don't pay out.
alert.
Diva alert. I would say 4 times a year. I only shop for clothes 4 times a year. Braxton is my personal shopper. We meet up. We shop for 4 hours at like discount place, Zara, Nordy's,
Love
Bloomie's
Zara.
sales, all these things. We probably buy, I don't even, $1,000, $2,000 in clothes. That is, and then he comes to my house. He puts together all the outfits, jewelry, shoes, everything, takes a photo. And then so I can just scroll through and look at my outfits because I hate to shop. I am with Alley Cat. I thought that was great. Is it a little creepy? Now, it's
You're
weird.
like a dude. You're like a dude. I
No.
have a shopping addiction and I put
Really?
together I could shop
Wow.
and often do shop every day and just it's an addiction they call it. But you're like a dude.
I'm a
Um
dude. It's actually embarrassing. I need to buy new handbags. I buy so few
Honey.
handbags. I I know you're at Louis Vuitton all the time. Even if I were making Miss Yontif's salary, I don't even think I would go to Louis Vuitton that much.
You
Like
shouldn't.
I don't even like to go that much.
I don't recommend it. Just stay away, everybody. It's a
I am a
slippery
dude.
slope. So it's a
Little
little
weird.
creepy about
Oh,
James, but Alley Cat loves it. I agree with you. This was a great episode. Love Alley Cat, and we'll get into it in a few minutes. This Brock, don't count out the tall, gentle giant types. This Brock is a shadesta. He's a
Brock is
shadesta.
hot.
Not really, but he's a shadester.
I love him. I love
Ugh.
him. Okay, where do you want to begin with this episode? We start out this episode. Again, I'm thinking they're not making these edits look very good for our girl Ariana. But
No.
we find out pretty quickly in the episode that Schwartzy has had his attorneys drop a letter
Sandoval?
offering. Oh, sorry, thank you. Sandoval has given Ariana an offer to pay her current market value for her half of the
He
house.
says the entire amount. Now, I need to know what that means because it's like that's a very vague term. I mean, you're not offering to buy her out of the whole amount of the house. Yeah? I don't understand. Like, if they bought it together, wouldn't you just? I mean, I know I'm lost in the weeds again, guys, but wouldn't you just owe half? Like if it was 3 million, like if it was 2 million and you each owed bought 1 million in, you would have to now assess it for fair market value. So like say it's worth 3 million, then wouldn't you need to give her 1.5 and not the full amount? If you paid half, I don't know. I'm just
I
like
mean,
I
great
I just
question.
think it's when he says entire amount, I'm not sure that that's accurately edited because like what is the entire amount to me means like entire, I don't know. But yes, he does want her out of the house. And I agree with Lala's statements that like this is weird at this point. You're that miserable, take the money and run. Again, I said this weeks ago. In business, you just sometimes lose a few dollars. You don't lose a gazillion dollars, but at this point, you could have already invested the money. Now, we do know she just bought a new house. I get it. But you could have done that a lot long ago. And I'm not even so, this does not mean we sold the old house, people. She just bought a new house. So, yeah, sorry, you're going to take 200,000 less. I mean, I've done business dealings where I've taken a little less just to get out of a situation and move on with life. It's called being an adult.
Well, I think she has a whole different version that played out in the press. Didn't she come out and I think she explained more about what that offer was, and it was actually far below market value, I
She
think.
has.
Anyhow, we learned that, right? And then the show is finally, we're moving on from Sandoval and Ariana and Raquel when Lala and Schwartzy go to Creations and have acai bowls and whatever ginger shots. And he confesses that he made out with Scheana